President Biden has announced all American troops and personnel will leave Afghanistan by September this year, missing a previous deadline of May. The UK is expected to follow, pulling out 750 British soldiers at the same time. The Afghan conflict has been America's longest war, and at one point 100,000 US soldiers were deployed. Currently, there are around 2,500. But the Speaker of the Afghan Parliament has warned that the withdrawal could lead to a civil war. The country remains deeply divided, with the Taliban still in control of many areas, including parts of Balkh province, where our correspondent Secunda Kamani has gained rare access and has sent us this report.
Victory, they believe, is theirs. As American troops prepare to leave Afghanistan, the Taliban promise to create what they call an Islamic government. But where does that leave millions of ordinary Afghans? We've been given rare access to their territory to find out. Early morning, we set off from the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif. This province was once one of the most stable. Now it's one of the most violent. We're just around half an hour's drive outside the main city, and already we're in Taliban territory. Our hosts have put on a show of force. Their violent insurgency has cost the lives of tens of thousands of people. Through checkpoints like this, the militants assert their authority. And where's the government control then? US troops will be withdrawn later this year, but the fighting here will likely continue. Negotiations between the Taliban and Afghan government have achieved little so far. For the past year, you've not been fighting against the Americans, you've been fighting against other Afghans, other Muslims.
The دولت سره زموږ مخالفت په د اسلامي نظام دی چې موږ په جهاد مامور یو تر څو چې دوی زموږ هغه خبره مني.
Haji Hekmat is the Taliban's shadow mayor in this part of Balkh province. He gives us a tour of the area. Class one. Class one?
Class one.
There are girls. In the 1990s, the Taliban banned female education. And in other areas, there are reports they still don't allow older girls to attend school. But here at least, they're supporting it. The school is funded by the government, but monitored by the Taliban.
بخاطر که گفته که علم بر مرد و زن فرض است برای ما این قمی گفت که با حجاب بیایم حجاب خود از طریق اسلام برای ما خود ما گفته باید ما حجاب رعایت کنیم در مکتب خوندنی هیچ کدام ممانعت برای ما نمیکرد.
Local sources told us the Taliban removed art and citizenship studies from the curriculum, adding Islamic subjects, but otherwise follow the national syllabus. The Taliban wanted to present us with a positive image. Throughout the trip, we were accompanied by them at all times. Residents we spoke to at a local bazaar expressed support for the group, saying they brought security. But later, we were told about villagers being slapped for shaving their beards or having stereos smashed for listening to music. Many, particularly in Afghan cities, fear the Taliban want to recreate their repressive Islamic emirate of the 1990s. Do you think that you did things wrong back then, and would things be different now?
چې طالب او پخوانی اوسنی خو یو طالب دی. البته افرادو کې خامخا تغییر او تبدیل او څوک د چا طبیعت سخت وي د چا لږ نرم وي.
There's a diplomatic push for the Taliban to agree to a power-sharing arrangement. So far, though, the group has shown little desire to compromise. The price of peace may well mean giving in to more of their demands. Secunda Kamani, BBC News, Balkh province.
Well, our Washington correspondent Gary O'Donoghue is at the White House. Gary, US troops, they're going home in September. What does this tell us about President Biden's foreign policy?
Well, Clive, this is part of a wider pivot away from America, focusing on international terrorist groups like al-Qaeda and more onto what it calls the strategic longer-term threats from competitors and adversaries such as China and Russia. But it's also a recognition in America, in a sense, it's achieved what it can achieve in Afghanistan. It's trained an army of more than 300,000. It's degraded and dispersed Al-Qaeda. In that sense, the score that was 9/11 has been settled 2 decades on. There are risks, of course, though. For example, those in the administration here were also around in 2011 when they drew down troops from Iraq. And of course, that led to the vacuum where ISIS took over in Syria and Iraq. Also, the Taliban may feel less impetus to go to the negotiating table as a result of this unconditional withdrawal. And of course, the Speaker of the House here, Nancy Pelosi, a Democrat, warning that the progress made for girls and for women in Afghanistan, that could all be at risk. Domestically, for Joe Biden, this is upside in the sense that all candidates, all presidents want to bring their troops home. But if any of those negative consequences start to build up, then that smart politics may start to look a little less smart.
OK, Gary, thank you for that. Gary O'Donoghue there at the White House.